Liderlər birbaşa və ya dolaylı olaraq digər şəxsləri müəyyən düşüncəyə, davranışa yönləndirməyə çalışır. Bunu edərkən də özlərinə xas bacarıq və səriştələrdən faydalanırlar. Liderlərin özünə inam, etibarlılıq, gələcəyi görmə vizyonu sayəsində digər insanlar da onları təqib etmək istəyir. Bəs arxasından gediləcək lider necə olmalıdır? Bu barədə bizə Jayne Morrison danışacaq.
Jayne Morrison, 6 Seconds Emotional Intellect Araşdırma İnstitutunun regional direktorudur. Jayne, operational leadership təcrübəsi ilə yanaşı, consulting, coaching, öyrənmə və inkişaf proqramlarını həyata keçirməsi üzrə 25 illik təcrübəyə malikdir. Onun müştəri siyahısına Qatar Airways, Jumeirah, Rotana, Intercontinental Hotels Group, Kempinski, Holiday Inn, Aramex, Emirates və digər tanınmış şirkətlər daxildir. Afrika, Hindistan, Birləşmiş Krallıq, Avropa, Çin, ABŞ kimi ölkələrdə iş və təlim təcrübəsi var. Səhnəyə xanım Jayne Morrisonu dəvət edirik.
So are you a leader worth following? Not just muddling along, but someone who's really engaging with people. Engaging with their hearts and their minds to take them to new heights, heights that they would not be able to go to on their own. Being this person is not easy. Why? Think about your life. Is it more complex than it was 10 years ago? Absolutely. And what does this complexity do to us as leaders in our ability to connect and thrive? 3 facts. 1, stress. Stress has become a global epidemic, according to the World Health Organization. In the US alone, it's thought to result in a loss or cost of around $44 billion. And in the EU, the figures are not much better. Complexity. Complexity is increasing daily. Research says that on an average day today, our brains are stimulated with as much sensory information as our grandparents were in 1 year. And yet, physiologically, we have not changed. Isolation. Isolation is increasing dramatically. Around the world, more of us are feeling more lonely, despite all the ways we have of connecting. And some research says that because of this, we feel lonely. So we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, and sometimes really alone. So what does this do to our ability to lead? Let's turn to our brains for a moment. When we're overloaded, it means it gets harder to focus. We have to focus more and more. And as we focus more and more to cut through the complexity, we focus on the task. And as we do this, less on the people side of things. According to research, we have conflicting neural pathways in our brains. In this case, the task network and the people network. So in times of complexity, we focus more on the task to get things done and less on the people. We become human doings instead of human beings. And yet, the secret sauce, that X factor that differentiates leaders worth following, is the fact that they focus on the how, not just the what. They have this alignment between who they are, what they do, and how they do it. Now, just as our brains are part of the problem, our brains are also part of the solution. We just have to train them mindfully to be more aware and to build this alignment about who we are, what we do, and how we do it. And people all over the world are learning the skills of emotional intelligence, learning to be smarter with their feelings. Because learning to be smarter with our feelings gives us that ability of self-awareness, self-management, and self-purpose. As I've mentioned, there are people all over the world doing this, learning with care how to be smarter with their feelings. Repeated research shows that EQ has twice the power of IQ to predict performance. Twice the power. And leaders and organizations who wish to create great leaders, who wish to drive performance, are using this to help and assist develop their leaders. Here's an example of one as I've mentioned, EQ is a growth opportunity. It's something that's learnable, that we can use in our training, in our coaching, and in our consulting processes. These skills can be measured and learned. Here's an example of an organization, FedEx. FedEx Express, to be specific. In their learning academy, new leaders are given 6 months of coaching and training. Imagine that, an organization where you go in and you are assigned training and coaching for 6 months to ensure that you have the skills, not only the technical skills, the people skills, to lead on purpose. And you can see the results of this, that increase between where they were and where they are. So it's no wonder that this training program, this coaching program, has now been brought in throughout the world. And it's probably one of the reasons that repeatedly FedEx is rated as one of the best places to work in the world. The competencies that you saw on the previous slide here are competencies that sit within the 6 seconds model of emotional intelligence. Our model is a circle because it's about putting it into action. At 6 seconds, our purpose is to take this theoretical concept of emotional intelligence, take it out the square box, take it out the papers, take it and make it practical. So our model is about a circle, and the more you go around the circle, the more you strengthen those muscles, those competencies that lie beneath the model. In that blue zone, that area of reflection, is self-awareness. It's about learning more about who I am. And as I develop insight into myself, I start to develop insight into others too. The people that I work with, the people that I lead. Choose yourself. This is about developing self-management. This is about the choice. The way I choose to show up as a leader. Who do I want to be? And finally, this area, give yourself. This area of self-direction. Of being and leading and walking with purpose. And in a way that connects me with others. What's interesting for me in my journey as a trainer and as a coach and as a consultant has been working with leaders, and very often when working with leaders, touching on this area of give yourself. At first, there's a resistance because it's a bit fluffy about empathy and pursuing a noble goal. But it turns out that this concept of pursuing a noble goal is what makes the difference. In our database of over 100,000 leaders who have used the SEI, the 6 Seconds Emotional Intelligence Assessment, the single competency of pursuing a noble goal is what creates the difference between a manager and a leader. And it's no wonder, because when I have a sense of purpose, I am then able to inspire others, connect to them with empathy, in a way that makes them feel psychologically safe, but also sets them on fire. Without this sense of direction, am I worth following? Who wants to follow a leader who doesn't know where he's going? The great thing is that this model provides us with a methodology. I mentioned to you it's an action model. And I'd like to share with you an absolute simple process right now that you can start employing to bring your emotional intelligence to the game anytime. Let's try it out. Right now, how are you feeling? Can you name your emotions? How many emotions do you think the average person can name? I don't know, I'm sorry, about Turkish or Russian or Azerbaijani. But in the English language, the average person uses less than 5. And yet in the English language, there's over 3,000 words to describe emotions. We are an emotional, illiterate society, and that causes huge issues. Emotions are chemicals. When we perceive an external stimulus, those chemicals flush through our bodies and brains. And at a basic level, our brain has 2 states, towards and away. So the emotions provide us with data, a message from you to you. Should you move forward, or should you find a way to move away? And in doing so, is your response habitual? Are you doing it unconsciously without even recognizing what you're doing? Because 98% of the day we do that, because we are so flooded with the complexity of this life. So what are you feeling? And with those feelings, what choices do you have? You can pay attention. You can check your phone. Your mind can wander to what's happening next. You have a choice between the stimulus that releases the flood of emotions and the way you react. It's your choice. Because what do you really want today, sitting in this room? So at an absolute basic model, if you don't remember anything today, please remember these 3 questions, because they allow you to bring your emotional intelligence to the game at any time. At the breakfast table whilst you're sitting with your kids, what am I feeling? What options do I have? Because what do I really want now as a mother? What's important? As a leader, before you step into a team meeting, what am I feeling? What choices do I have? What do I really want? Because if I'm not in the right emotional state, I have a choice to change that. Because great leaders know that they set the emotional tone for others. Leaders have emotional power. And leaders who are worth following use it well. Because they know they create the climate for others to flourish. Ladies and gentlemen in this room, we all have a choice about the leader that we want to be. And the choice is yours. So are you a leader worth following? What will it take to be that leader that you want to be? What skills do you need? At 6 seconds, our vision is that by 2039, we will have supported 1 billion people. That's right, 1 billion people It's not so much, it's only 1 in 10, in practicing the skills of emotional intelligence, because we believe that a world that includes more insight, greater connection, and more purpose will result in more leaders that are truly worth following. So if you feel you need more, then please take a look at these sites. Thank you.